Hello everyone! Today I want to share my experience and the loot I got from running 100 Tier 1 Firestorm Abyss sites in a solo frigate. This is part 4 of the video series, so there will be references to previous episodes. This time it was a mixed approach. For the first 40 runs I looted all the cans. However, after seeing a comment on the one of previous videos that the extra cans do not have triple loot, I switched to looting only the main cache. This is the first feat in this series that I created myself. The idea behind this feat was to loot all the cans, which is why it has Microwarpdrive. But Microwarpdrive also made some of the difficult rooms a bit easier. The ship is equipped with pulse lasers, delivering 329 DPS with short range 9 km ammo, and 203 DPS with long range 20 km ammo. The downside, besides the limited range, is that it burns through the ammo quickly, so it's a good idea to carry extra in your cargo. It has around 10k EHP with only one armor repair module. This might be too much for T1 sites, especially considering the armor bonus from Firestorm weather. In hindsight, I think I could have used an afterburner instead, and equipped other rigs to increase DPS. Another modification might be replacing damage control with another heatsink for extra DPS. The total cost of this feat is around 44 million ISK, making it the cheapest one I used in this series so far. The full feat is listed in video description. As for skills, I have Mastery level 4 for Retribution, with all small energy turret skills at level 5. I'm still missing a few levels in armor related skills, which could boost the ship EHP even further. This feat has similar drawbacks to the Hawk from previous video, short range. However, it doesn't feel like a major issue here. Thanks to Microwarpdrive, it's easy to maintain distance. Instant ammo switching also helps. Out of 100 runs, I dropped below half armor only twice, once due to incoming damage, and once when I accidentally left Abyss Zone because of a speed cloud. Based on these results, I am confident that this feat could afford to sacrifice some tank for additional DPS. Let's discuss some specific rooms. Drone Battlecruiser Tessera. This one was much easier than in previous runs. I was able to orbit it at 15 km without awkward alignments, thanks to Microwarpdrive. At that distance I received 0 damage. It took longer to destroy it with long-range ammo, but I played safe this time. I didn't want to lose another ship after the last video. Devoted Knight. Similar strategy as with Tessera. Orbit at 15 km and use long-range ammo. At 15 km it misses most of the time. I've tried to do a 10 km orbit for a maximum DPS, but Devoted Knight began newting my capacitor and wiping my ship. At 15 km, you are still in a range of newting, but it doesn't affect your capacitor. Lucid Deep Watcher. It has a huge armor tank, further buffed by Firestorm weather, so it takes a long time to destroy it. It also shoots missiles, but with Microwarpdrive active, they don't have enough range to hit me. Devoted Hunters. In one of these rooms, I was dropped below half armor. One of the 2 times I mentioned before. It was not a real danger, but if there had been a speed cloud or tracking issues, it could have been. This room is essentially a race to destroy the first hunter. After that, it gets much easier. Drekovac. This was the second time my ship was below half armor. actually even reaching 0 armor and taking a hull damage. But it was not because of the enemy ship. I was chasing it through the speed cloud and ended up outside of the abyss boundaries. This is a great example why abyssal content is so engaging. Even in a seemingly easy room, unexpected factors like clouds or pylons can drastically change the difficulty. A bad combination, like flying through a blue cloud while a battleship sits near a tracking pylon, can end your run quickly. As always in this series, I stored the loot from every 10 runs in a separate container. This time the loot value ranged from 58 to 95 million ISK per 10 runs. I only got one lucky drop. A Gravit medium armor plate mutaplasmid, if you can even call it lucky. The drop chance for it in tier 1 sites is very low, but it only worth about 1.5 million ISK. Let's put it all together and see what we have. The total estimated value is 752 million ISK. Breaking it down, we have 168 million from filaments, which is actually the highest filament value I've had in this series. 401 million from red loot. 148 million from materials. And 18 million from mutaplasmids. Not that impressive, but still more than I've got from exotic run. Blueprint copies are not great this time. Just 2 Kikimaras worth 5 million each and 1 mutaplasmid worth 7 million, for a total value of 17 million ISK. So, adding it all together, the overall value from these 100 runs is about 769 million ISK. Now let's talk about ISK per hour. I spent 12 hours and 48 minutes in the abyss, so let's round it up to 13 hours. That's work out to roughly 59 million ISK per hour. Prices for filaments and materials from the abyss are still dropping. So let's compare this with my previous runs using current market prices. My exotic runs from the first video came out to about 71 million ISK per hour. The electrical runs is around 59 million per hour. The dark runs came in at 60 million per hour. So, together with electrical, this firestorm run is the lowest ISK per hour I had in this series. And, to be honest, it was a bit of a mess. The feat was originally designed for looting all the cans, but halfway through I abandoned this tactic. Even so, the total loot and total time were similar to electrical runs, which is odd because I was expecting less value and faster completions. The feat definitely was not optimal. The armor buff in Firestorm makes enemy ships take much longer to destroy. A higher DPS alternative would almost certainly do better. But I think this feat could still work for Tier 2 Firestorm, and I plan to try it in the future videos. Oh, and one last thing worth mentioning, I recovered 253 out of 300 Tier 1 filaments I used for this video. And here is a table showing my progress across all Tier 1 runs so far. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching.